Hello. We are back for another collective reading. For the topic today, how I got it was actually using my palm reading cards, and this one came out, Mercury Finger. So this is perfect, I think, especially for Gemini season. This is also card number 85, if anybody's into numerology. So today's topic is going to be conversation, communication. More specifically, what conversation do you need to have and with who? So I'm gonna put this off to the side. So how I did this reading, first and foremost, is I shuffled the decks, I drew the cards, and then I sat with each pile individually and just kind of allowed my guides to filter in messages. Right now I'm receiving messages kind of more in a form of words, also feelings and emotions came up a lot during each of these piles. And when it came to choosing like rocks or stones, gems to help signify each pile, I felt called to the collection of rocks that I have collected on like personal hikes that I've been on. So I don't know what these stones are. My area, they're probably mostly quartz. So for pile 1, we have this kind of white clear quartz with a little bit of red and pink in it. For this middle pile, this is more like a red stone that I found. I really like how it has some type of like white color running through it a little bit. And then this one, I love this stone. This is one of my favorites. I think this is a type of quartz, but as you can see, it has like an orange yellow color to it. So hopefully you can kind of see that. I don't know how my light is shining on it. So I'm just going to give about 20 to 30 seconds of some meditation music for anybody that needs help choosing the piles. Hello, pile number 1. That's if you chose this stone, this rock, which I can kind of show you a little bit better now. So when I drew these cards, I found it interesting that 2 birds and 2 moons came up. What I'm going to do is just kind of go over the overarching features of these 4 cards. And then I will let you know some of the messages that kind of came through pretty clear. And this card today was going to signify who the conversation needs to be had or have with, pretty much. So for the peacock and blue lace agate, this is representative of inner light, divinity, and higher self. The crane and the sage is healing, medicine, spiritual growth. The full moon is completion, evolution, fruition, also light. And then you have the waxing crescent moon as your shadow card. You know, that's something beneath the surface within yourself. And this is representative of focus, ask for help, and release doubts. So just off of all of these, I kind of got that you're kind of working on yourself, you're connecting to your higher self, you're doing some type of spiritual growth. Although this also kind of feels like this peacock makes me feel like this is you in the situation, and you're trying to walk away from this person that you're talking to, and this person is actually showing you that they're more open and receptive to hearing the message that you want to give them. This pile did kind of make me cry a little bit because it feels like this is a part of you that you don't get to express very often. You just want to be accepted for this side of yourself. So this could be a wound that needs some healing, an older one that you've had since possibly childhood, I'm seeing, or possibly teenage years. Um, with even this as a shadow card, the waxing crescent moon, this is to ask for help and release any doubts. So you might want to call upon a close friend to hold you accountable to have this conversation. And the star card, number 16, this pretty much just relates to hope, optimism, and inspiration. But when I was meditating on these cards, this felt like somebody who's older than you. You need to have a conversation with somebody who's older than you or has like a higher up position. For some reason, I got older parental figure coming through very strongly. And it feels like you want to tell them who you truly are or who you want to actually be. And this kind of, when I asked for affirmation for this pile, this card kind of popped right out and it said, I am unique. So I really hope that you're able to have this conversation moving forward. Even with the blue lace agate and the sage, this is going to be very healing to have this type of conversation. And just know that this person that you're having a conversation with, the person who's older, maybe a parental figure, this message is actually going to be very well received. If anything, you telling this person who you actually are or who you want to be more expressionate of, this might actually inspire them to start being their own true self too. So this is going to be a good conversation overall. It's very positive. I can tell that there's a lot of heavy emotion behind this conversation. I don't want to say specifically what it is, but I think for whoever is looking at this pile, I'm getting a sense that this is either you opening up to somebody about transitioning or expressing your newfound sexuality or one that you've had for a while and you haven't been able to express. That's just kind of maybe a very specific message for a certain person. But let me know if this resonated with you. Please know that this conversation will go very well. It's going to be okay. You are surrounded by people that care about you. You have your accountability partner, so a friend, a close loved one that you can already talk to about this situation. And just know that the person that you're going to talk to will receive this message really well. So I hope that resonated. Please take what fits, leave what doesn't. And I hope that you guys decide to join me along my newfound journey on YouTube. And if not, that is okay. I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. That's if you chose this really cool kind of reddish color rock. Hopefully you can kind of see how cool it looks. So what I did was I drew these cards to kind of get a vibe of the conversation that needs to happen. This is from another deck, which I'll show at the end. This is who the conversation needs to happen with. And this is just an affirmation to help you through this type of conversation. And I'm just going to go over the overarching themes of these 3 cards in the shadow card first, and then I'll let you know the messages that came through. So snake and lemongrass is reinvention, commitment to a better life. Obsidian ball is reflection, insight, and acceptance. Spider lily and jasper are cutting ties that bind, acting in your best interest. And for your shadow card, you have string of pearls and feather, and that is behaving ethically, restoring karmic balance. Right off the bat, this is my worker pile. I got a very heavy message that this is work related, that there is a lot kind of happening. So let's break it down. Underneath snake and lemongrass, some of the words I got were like you're bending and flexing a lot so that you can have upward growth. It's helping you sustain your life, this career that you're currently in. But you need to kind of maybe evaluate, is this mentally making you happy and healthy? The obsidian ball is kind of about reflection and insight, but the word that I underlined was acceptance. So, acceptance is kind of like a double-edged sword. Here, you're able to see your own flaws, but you're also able to see your own shortcomings. And that seems like a vicious cycle that your brain tends to get stuck in, especially around this job. Spider lily and jasper, which, first of all, this spider lily, it looks very intimidating and beautiful at the same time, which tells me this is kind of like who you are. You might be a very beautiful, attractive person, or you probably have a very beautiful, attractive personality when it comes to being in this career. However, it can be very toxic and deadly. So it means that you definitely pack a punch, especially with your words or probably with your actions. And if anything, that's good, because you have very good self-confidence in this situation here. However, your shadow card is string of pearls. This is just kind of reminding you that maybe things that you say and do them ethically, because it kind of, I get a feeling that there's a lot happening at this career that it's showing bad behavior getting rewarded. And even though this is frustrating to you because you have a higher standard, you might be tempted to lower that standard to keep progressing forward. And that is an absolute no-no. Something tells me that you have a belief and value system in trust, honor, and holding yourself to a higher standard. So don't drop it just because of that. And as for the person that you need to have the conversation with, we got the woman card. It doesn't mean that it has to be a woman, a female. It could just be somebody who has more feminine energy. But I get the feeling this is a coworker. I don't see them as like a higher up. I see this as a person that's maybe equal or lateral to whatever position that you're in. This feels overwhelming with a lot of snooty and arrogant energy. They might be a little bit dark within. They're kind of make decisions based off their emotions. And I think that is what the conversation needs to be about, is whoever this person is, they kind of need to be called out or addressed, because their behavior and their way at work is very unbecoming. Another thing to make sure that you're doing is this, first of all, ask yourself, is this career worth talking and addressing this person? If it's not, then you need to maybe evaluate a few things and see which career is going to make you happier. Because this is telling me this person's not going anywhere. So you're going to have to either learn to work with their energies, call them out, but obviously in a polite manner, so that you can continue progressing. And as your affirmation card, you got, as I take on new challenges, I feel positive, calm, and confident. So this affirmation will at least help you through this type of conversation, hopefully with this snooty person. But let me know if this resonated with you and how that conversation goes. And I really appreciate you stopping by my channel. I know that I am still a little new to YouTube. I'm just very happy to be able to do this style of reading for a collective group. And I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose this stone, crystal, gem, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of like a better look at it, hopefully. This is your reading. So what I did was I drew 3 of these cards, and then this was the shadow card at the bottom of the deck. And this I drew from a separate pile to kind of show like who the conversation needs to be had with. And then this is kind of your affirmation for this conversation to help get you through it. So what I'm going to do is go over the overarching, what's it called? I forgot. The overarching vibes or feelings or definitions of these cards first. And then I'll let you know which messages came through. So for the blue tit and tourmaline, you have hope, happiness, joy, and love. beetle and selenite. You got clarity, turning impurity into purity. And then you have the spoonbill and labradorite, which is solitude, introspection, and take a break. And as your shadow card, you got the waxing gibbous moon, which is fine tune and check in with your intentions. So based off of these cards, this feels like a very personal journey that you've been taking inward, of being comfortable with who you are as a person. So it feels like you have a lot of gratitude kind of coming in. I get a feeling that you may have been somebody who is in a negative mindset about a lot of things, such as like, I can't believe, this car in front of me is tapping on their brakes. But now you look at it as in like, oh, I could take that as a sign. I feel like you have like a changing, evolving mindset that may have been negative and is now moving to some type of positive mindset. So this is kind of like new for you. Even your shadow card is actually pretty positive, waxing gibbous moon. That means it's getting closer to that full moon. So I feel like with this card as your shadow card, it means that you've been putting in the work. You just might need to fine tune a few things. And with this card, clouds, first of all, when I first got this deck, my first thought went to, this is Aquarius energy. So maybe you have Aquarius in your big three, maybe you have heavy Aquarius energy in your astrology chart, or maybe you are Sun Aquarius. But when I looked at this card a little further, you see how there's clouds. There's kind of like this little spaceship beaming up a little goat. This tells me that this conversation is going to be with yourself. This conversation is turning inwards. It's asking yourself questions such as, am I being who I really want to be? How do I want to present this to the world? What are my desires, and how am I going to express those in a very healthy way? This also kind of feels like you might be somebody who was very misunderstood, but you've been working through that. And now you want to get to the point of being understood, from your actions, from your words, from the things that you are doing in life. You want them to be understood. And it took you a while to get that negativity out, but you are now moving in a positive direction. This conversation with yourself is going to be really investigating those things, maybe digging deep. So this, even your affirmation here says, my mind is a powerful healing tool. So I get the feeling that you can figure this out yourself. You don't really need to call upon anybody else. I think this is a time for you to turn inwards and maybe disconnect from the internet for a while, maybe disconnect from your cell phone, give it a few hours, give it a day, maybe give it a few days. But by disconnecting and turning inwards, you are going to be able to get the answers that you're seeking. That's the conversation you need to have, is where am I going? What are my desires? Is everything that I want in life in alignment with where I want to go? Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got. Although another word that keeps coming in is that you feel like you're weird, maybe that's specific for some people. You might feel weird, but just know, even if you feel that you are weird, it's weird in a hopeful, happiness, joyful, loving way. And it attracts people to you. But right now you just need to kind of push that stuff out, turn inward, fine tune on your desires and your wants and where you want to go with your life path right now. And just know that your mind is powerful, okay? You can get through this conversation with yourself. And if anything, if I feel like this is my Aquarius card, maybe Pisces card too, because clouds, head in the clouds, it makes me think of that. This spaceship is beaming up a goat, which is usually symbolic of Capricorn. So you are getting grounded. You might feel like you're drifting out there, but you are becoming grounded. So I hope this reading resonated with you. I'm really appreciative that you decided to stop by and listen to this reading, even though I know I'm a little bit newer to YouTube, but I am enjoying channeling a lot of these messages for the collective. And please remember, only take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.